Okay, so I thought I'd offer some narration for this particular video because, as you will see, my head is clearly not in the game from the off. So thinking back on it, I'm just trying to ascertain the reasons why. And I think it's actually two reasons. The first reason, I was a little tired, not overly so, but I was a little tired that day due to just a poor night's sleep the night before. But I don't think that was the main reason. The second reason is this is the first time I've not gone into a lesson without having some practice beforehand on the flight sim. What I've usually been doing is the day before I've been reviewing the videos that I've been making and also backing it up with flight sim work, and that has prepared me really nicely for the following day, and I didn't actually do that on this particular occasion. So my routine has changed a little bit, and that may be one of the reasons why I don't appear to be 100% focused on it.
Right, 2000. T's and P's in the green. Releasing brakes. Full power. Get your heels right on the floor, toes well away from the feet, brakes. T's and P's still in the green. We're looking for minimum 2300 RPM, which we have. T's and P's, as you say, are in the green, and airspeed is coming alive. Forget to expect a little bit of turbulence there. Yeah.
So you can see here that it's a very, very windy day, and this was extremely distracting to me. I've obviously experienced windy days, but this was a really windy day. Now, straight off the bat here, I've completely forgotten to retract the flaps, which is unusual at this stage. Normally I'm pretty good at picking that up and getting it done, particularly with the practice I've done on the flight sim.
And remember, glance back at your runway just to make sure we're at right angles. Okay.
You can see that Andrew's doing a lot of prompting on this lesson, at least to begin with.
Okay, just approaching 800. Dipping the nose. Speed increasing, and power back, and retrim. Okay, we're ready to turn downwind. Have a good look both ways, and turn. Remember, again, we've got a slight southerly wind, so it's blowing us north quite quickly, so you want to get your turn a little bit earlier. A bit earlier, okay. Yeah. I mean, we have to turn slightly to the right as well. Yeah, just a little bit. Into wind. We call downwind. Yeah. Traffic, Golf,
so once again, something which I would normally do automatically now, Andrew's had to remind me to do the downwind call.
Straight into your pre-landing checks, otherwise you'll be at the end of the downwind.
And, as Andrew's just doing now, I'm having to be reminded to do the downwind checks as well. And just little things like that, with me saying the wrong things for the carpet. Now, I did switch the carpet on then off, but I said off then on.
Hold the nose, and you can start your turn onto base after a good look out. Okay, good luck. Okay, off we go. Oh, a bit choppy today, isn't it?
So there you can see I'm feeling a little anxious with the amount of turbulence that we're experiencing.
Alright, so just speed is in the white arc, so 2 stages. 1, 2, retrim. Again, remember the wind's blowing us that way, so we want to turn in a little bit more. Right. Otherwise we'll end up with a very, very wide circuit.
And now at this stage I am catching sight of a rather unpleasant weather front approaching.
I think we have to go a little bit further down as well before we turn. Well, we don't want to turn early, basically. Turn early, okay. Yeah. Don't turn early. Don't turn early, yeah. Okay, just to add a little bit extra into the mix, when you are flying solo, you should prefix your calls with the word student, so that everybody knows you are a solo student. Okay, so for example on finals you would be student Golf Bravo Delta finals 26. Okay, right. Do you want me to start that now? Nope, because I'm in here. Of course, yeah.
So if you look at the front of the aeroplane now, you'll see those dark clouds, and that is actually rain falling in the distance. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, you'll have known that I've done a lot of research into the causes of accidents in general aviation, and one of the big ones is VFR pilots flying into IMC. So I am very, very aware of the dangers of doing that. And looking at those clouds up ahead really started to put me on edge.
Approaching 300, so drag flap. Low. And don't forget your finals call. Oh yeah. Compton traffic, Golf Bravo Delta, final touch and go.
And once again, I'm forgetting to do basic things like doing the
I'm a bit worried about that.
final call there. So Andrew's just acknowledged the clouds up ahead.
What do you reckon?
And the rainfall.
Well, we'll do our 2 or 3 circuits, see what's happening. If it means we've got to land, wait 20 minutes for it to go through, it's only a shower, we'll do that. Roger that.
So Andrew's just trying to, I guess, comfort me a little bit. Not an overly serious situation. We will be able to get some circuits in, and if we can't, we'll just have to
right, so hold it off, don't let it land,
park up and wait.
Okay, stay with your feet ailerons into the wind. 5, let's fly, be assertive, get it off the ground, then lower the nose for your 65 knots.
Just check out how much the aircraft gets blown around here.
Yeah, it doesn't look good over there, does it? No, it doesn't.
And once again, I'm just having a lot of focus on that rain over there, where I should really be focusing on flying.
Okay, 300, flaps away. Compton Golf Bravo Papa Charlie Kilo, read radio check and pre-pump taxi. Charlie Kilo, strength 526 right, QNH 1022. 1022, roger, right. It's coming in fast, isn't it? Yeah, well, we'll do it. It's only a small thing, so we'll do a couple of circuits. Alright. So, coming up to 700.
Andrew is not overly concerned with the weather, and this guy has infinitely more experience than I have, both with flying and how to deal with weather. But in the back of my mind, it's bothering me a lot at this point. I just didn't want to put myself in a position where I'd be flying into cloud and rain, and I know now, looking back, Andrew would never have put us in that position, and he would have put us on the ground as soon as he felt it was necessary, but it was playing on my mind a lot at this point, taking away valuable concentration. But I am relaxing a little bit. That being said, I'm starting to get all the automatics done, like the flaps and the radio calls.
Hatches and harnesses secure, and then carbine is off. Okay, so turning to base, have a good look around. And away we go. That weather's showing us on the radar there, that big blob.
Off the radio, Golf Hotel November Golf Echo, radio check, airfield information please.
Golf Echo, strength 5, 26 right, QH 1022.
26 right, 1022 and strength 5 also, Golf Echo.
Speed in the white half, 2 stages of flaps.
So I look reasonably calm here, but I've got to say underneath I was feeling flustered, and this will become a lot more apparent with my landings, which have been really good up until this point.
What are you thinking?
Keep going.
Yeah?
Well, we still want to do 2 or 3 dual, but like I said, if the worst comes to worst, we'll just land, wait for it to go through, and then you can go solo after that.
Okay.
So again, Andrew's not overly concerned with the weather front, and he's sure that we can do a few more circuits. Me, however, I'm actually wanting to land at this point. I mean, if we just take a look in front of the aircraft now, it looks horrendous.
Then a bit early there, didn't I?
A little bit.
Compton traffic, Golf Alpha Delta, final touch and go.
And Bravo Delta to Ops, for your information, there's some weather coming in. Looks like it'll be here in about 10 to 15 minutes from the southwest.
Okay, approaching 300, so I'll drive right, brake.
Okay, so this time remember the flare, hold it off, don't let it land. Don't need the power, you've got plenty of speed.
Okay.
Kill the power. Get the power. Hold your nose, but just get rid of that speed now, because you put too much power on.
Okay.
Now we're too fast, so keep it coming down.
Compton, Charlie Kilo check complete, line up after Bravo Delta.
South speed about 5, 8 knots.
Okay. Ailerons into wind, near with your feet. Yeah. Okay.
So much of my focus at this point is on those dark clouds and that rain up ahead.
Okay, so have a good look around, and
Compton Radio, Golf Echo, all checks complete, lining up 26.
South-southwest speed about 8 knots.
That's copy, thanks, Golf Echo.
okay.
Compton Delta, downwind.
So, copy is on. Catch up with Charlie Kilo. We're off to the southwest. On. Have enough fuel before we go around. Parking brakes are off. Landing light not required. Hatches, harnesses are secure. Copy back off. Low there. A bit fast as well. Let's scrub off some speed. Okay, so have a good look round, and it does not look fun over there.
I think it's slowed down. It might even miss us now. I don't know.
Now what Andrew said there was absolutely correct. It did turn out that the weather front just kissed the airfields. We got a slight smattering of rain, but it was not a big threat. Andrew was absolutely correct, but I was still really worried about it, and I was not comfortable, and I did not want to go solo at this point.
What do you want to do, land or?
Yeah, well, we'll land. I mean, I think you're okay to do, well, 2 or 3 circuits anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems so close.
It's spinning out. It's not as bad as it was.
Okay.
I think, in fact, it might even miss us to the west with a bit of luck. That's me being optimistic.
Yeah. What are we doing? Touch and go?
So we'll land on this one. I'll jump out. You can do, even if you only do 1 or 2, and then if you're not happy with the weather, just land.
I don't know. I think I'm not happy with it now, to be honest.
Compton Traffic, Golf Bravo Delta, final to land.
A bit distracting, that's all.
Okay, well, if you want to land, then we'll just wait for it to go through.
I would prefer that.
Yeah,
That's all right with
okay.
you.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so there we are. I made a decision.
Even if I've missed it, I don't mind.
I was not happy. I did not want to continue.
It's really distracting. That's all I'll be worrying about. That's the trouble.
And I just said to Andrew there, it's just too distracting. And I honestly think I made the right decision here.
Okay, so coming 300.
I'm an instructor myself in a different field, and I know how critical it can be if you overload a student. And I think given my stage in the learning process, how everything is still very new to me, and particularly how critical things are when you're flying, if you get it wrong, well, it's very unforgiving. I needed to have 100% focus to do this. I didn't have a lot of spare mental capacity at this stage. Everything's not there yet. The second nature is not there yet.
Oh dear.
Okay, so don't let it land. Just hold it level until it slows down. And as we get nearer and nearer the ground, you want more and more back pressure though. Just more and more, all the way back. So it's all the way back and just hold it there until it touches down. There you go.
Cool.
I was very relieved at that point. I was glad to be back on the ground, knowing that I wouldn't be going up doing a solo. Now, Andrew was quite happy to send me around on a solo, and that's because he had full faith in my abilities to fly the aeroplane, and I probably could have done it absolutely fine, but I just didn't want to overload myself. I wanted to focus on flying the aircraft. I didn't want to worry about flying into low cloud and rain. Now Andrew has got no idea what was going on inside my head. I mean, looking back at the video, outwardly I look reasonably calm, but inwardly I was struggling. I was getting anxious. my focus was being diverted from flying away to the incoming cloud, and he didn't know any of this. So when he said he could get out and I could go around and do 2 or 3 more circuits, he in his mind, that's absolutely the right decision. I was fine. I was flying the plane fine, despite a few little mistakes here and there. And as I say, I probably would have been fine, but in my mind, I wasn't happy. I wanted to stop.
If I say student now.
Okay, so here we are back in the plane half an hour later, and I'm going to be doing solo circuits. I'm certainly feeling a little bit better, but there's a bit of residual anxiousness, and you'll see that with a few mistakes I make. Nothing serious, thankfully. Things I shouldn't be making.
The QFA is 992.
26 right hand, Q&E 992, Golf Bravo Delta.
Alpha Charlie, final 26.
And that's southwesterly at 8 knots.
Now, one mistake I've made already, which you haven't seen, is that I've actually left the fuel pump on. Again, not a big problem, but part of the pre-taxi checks is to check the fuel pump goes on, the pressure stays up, and then you switch the pump off. But I did not switch the fuel pump off.
Okay, brakes are good.
It's also a busy day at Compton Abbas. It's usually very, very quiet when I do my lessons, so this is the first day I've had to deal with quite a bit of traffic. And certainly the first day I've had to deal with a lot of traffic solo.
Alpha Charlie, can you meet Steve at the pumps?
Roger, student Alpha Charlie.
Check.
So up ahead we've just had a plane which has landed, and they're actually completely blocking my path. Now at this point I was reasonably sure we both had to pass each other on the right hand side, but I was only reasonably sure. I also wasn't sure what they were going to be doing. The trouble is the runway is directly on my left, so I had very little room on my left. So what I did do is just shift slightly to the left to give them enough room to pass on my right. And then I thought it's best thing to do is just stop, let them do whatever it is they're doing, and then they can come round me.
Yeah, I don't know what these guys are doing, so I'm just going to wait.
Radio, good morning, Top Cat 10.
10, pass message.
Top Cat 12, you see 135 from Shepton Mallet to private side just east of Bournemouth. We'll just be clipping the western side of your HEZ southbound at 1,400 feet, 1015. You got any traffic to affect?
We've got an active circuit currently, about 4 or 5 aircraft inbound. We've got the QNH 1022, and we've got the runway of 26 right hand.
Okay, that's all copy, QNH 1022, and we'll keep a listening watch, Top Cat 10.
So I just sat patiently waiting for the other aircraft to come past me.
Compton Abbas, good afternoon, Golf Bravo, Sierra Victor Golf.
Victor Golf, pass message.
Victor Golf for PA28, You from Wickham Airport. Presently 8 miles to run. Request joining instructions.
We're using runway 26 right hand. QFE is 9 and 902, and we're just asking for no braking and large radius turns because of the runway surface.
Noted the surface concerns and we'll do a standard join overhead. Golf, Golf.
Okay, so we're going to do a right turn, ball left, increase, level, level, turn left, ball right, decrease, level, level. Okay, all into wind. Okay, happy engine. Okay, power check. So, positioning to wind, clear all around, taxiway surface, check for FOD, power brake on, 1200 set, change to full of tank.
So keep an eye out here. I do make a rather big mistake, which thankfully I pick up pretty quickly, but if I hadn't, it could have made life quite interesting on the takeoff.
Okay, brakes are holding, carburetor heater on, 10 to 15 seconds. And off. Magneto check, so left and right. All good. Suction between 4 and 5, yes it is. Ammeter charging, yes it is. P's and P's with the green. RPM set to idle.
Golf, Victor Golf. I can hear no other traffic, so I'm going to position for a straight in. Is that okay with you?
Good. Back up to 12.
So aircraft calling Compton again?
Golf, Victor Golf is positioning for a straight in for runway 26.
Yeah, just keep a lookout. We've got 2 other aircraft around.
Okay, it's very quiet. I've heard nobody else.
Okay, pre-takeoff checks. So fuel is on. Magneto on both. Yes. Primer is securely locked in. Gauges, ultimate engine temperature, pressures, all good. Direction. Okay, mixture is rich. Throttle friction up, finger tight. Carburetor off, master switch on, alt is on, fuel pump is on. Feeder heater not required, transponder set to alt. Flaps as required, 2 stages, 1, 2, symmetry is good. Gonna set for takeoff. Harnesses and seat secure and locked.
Golf Victor Golf, final full stop, runway 26.
Hatches, doors are secure, windows secured, controls, pulling free movement.
The wind is southwesterly 8.
Golf Victor Golf, thanks.
All good. Compton traffic, student Golf Bravo Romeo Bravo Delta, ready for departure after the landing aircraft.
Southwesterly 8.
So there we are. That was the mistake. Did you see it? I went to take the handbrake off and my muscle memory kicked in from years of driving cars. I retracted the flaps thinking it was the handbrake. Obviously the main brake is still on, thankfully, so I look over both shoulders and I see the flaps have been retracted, which confused me. I wasn't sure why that was the case. At this point I hadn't clicked that the mistake was me not releasing the proper handbrake.
992.
So I'm a bit confused at this point. I'm thinking, why were the flaps up?
Eastern end of the line next to the Jodelle, thank you.
Next to Jodelle, thank you. And my compliments to the student holding post, thank you.
I thought that was a nice touch. I think the pilot there was Dave, one of the instructors at Compton, and that was a nice touch from him to thank me. It made me feel good, and it just reinforced positive behaviour from myself as a student pilot. So that was good stuff. Now here I'm still thinking, why were these flaps up? Which is why I'm having a look over both shoulders a few times there. In fact, it bothered me so much I just had to check those flaps again. So I went all the way down with the lever and then back up 2 slots.
Double checking. Right, okay, so got to 2000. Ailerons into wind. P's and P's are in the green. T off the brakes. Full power. Clear right rudder. 1,300. Let the speed gain. And off we go. It is very windy today.
So now the level of wind and the gusts are starting to get my attention.
Okay, so just turn to the north. Flaps away. Retrim.
It wasn't actually until I reviewed the video that I'd realised the mistake that I'd made back on the pre-takeoff with those flaps. I absolutely had no idea why they were back in the up position.
Golf Echo Sierra, overhead, descending dead side.
Aileron down. Speed increasing. Power down. And good look both ways and turn. altitude range, turn a bit steeper. Compton traffic, student Golf Bravo, Romeo Bravo, Delta, downwind. Okay, so carpet is on, mixture is rich, fuel pump is on, have enough fuel for a go-around.
Another strange thing I'm doing, and I think it may be due to the fact I've introduced this new thing I need to say, which is student, but maybe because of that I am reading out the full registration of the aircraft when in fact I don't need to. Once again, I'm just commenting on the wind. I'm really feeling it up there.
Okay, have a good look round. And away we go. Drop some speed. Okay, we're in the white arc, so 2 stages of flaps. 1, 2, retrim. God dear, it's windy today.
And again, I'm just commenting on that wind. You can tell it's distracting me somewhat.
And Alpha Charlie, if you can pass as close to the fence as possible.
Golf Echo Sierra, Compton traffic, Golf Echo Sierra is downwind to land.
Okay, here we go. A bit low, so a bit more speed. Compton traffic, student Golf Bravo, Romeo Bravo, Delta, final touch and go. Bit high, drop off power.
Now, all my landings from here on in haven't been particularly good, and that annoys me slightly because I know I'm pretty good at landings. So, I mean, they're not bad, but they could be a lot better.
Okay, approaching 300, drag flap.
Compton traffic, Golf Echo Sierra, final to land.
That's south-southwest speed about 10 knots.
I touched down so early here. But interestingly, the approach wasn't particularly different to other approaches I've done. What I think the difference there might be is the wind is pretty much directly ahead of me, which is decreasing my ground speed and also increasing the angle of descent. That's my best guess.
Okay, flaps away. up. And approaching. 800, set nose down. And power back. And retrim. So watch out for the noise abatement area. Have a good look around. Clear the noise abatement area and turn.
Echo Sierra, welcome to Compton. Do you want fuel or just parking?
Just parking, please.
Okay, when you finish your landing roll, if you can park to the eastern end of the line of aircraft to your left. Thank you.
We'll go back to Sierra. Traffic, student Golf Bravo, Romeo Bravo Delta, downwind.
Okay, so carb heat is on, mixture is rich, fuel pump is on. We have enough fuel for a go around. Parking brakes are
Echo
off.
Sierra, if you can just do some wide radius turns, it's still fairly damp.
Hatches and
Okay,
harnesses
thank you, Golf Echo Sierra.
secure. Landing light not required. And carb heat off. Bit low rich. Okay, so have a good look round. And turn. Okay, and lead is in the white arcs, 2 stages of flaps, 1, 2, retrim. Okay, start losing some altitude.
So I misjudged here. I went way too low, but I did a pretty good job recovering.
Really low rich, come on. Traffic, student Golf Bravo Delta, final touch and go.
So at least I got the radio transmission correct that time.
Southwest field 8 knots.
Okay, so just approaching 300, so drag flap. Speed is good. Ease and speed, all good.
Now here, listen to the engine. I hadn't shut it down completely. I did notice it, but not to the last second. Again, not a particularly good landing. It's a bit too flat. No stall horn. Wind is really picking up.
Oh, dearie me. It's windy today. Okay, 300 feet. Right away. Retrim. Approaching 800. And raise down. Okay, check it's clear. And turn. Compton traffic, student Golf Bravo Delta downwind. Okay, so Compton radio, Golf Hotel, November Golf Echo. Radio check, request airfield information. Fuel for a go round, brakes are off.
Golf Echo, you strength 5, 26 right hand, QNH 1022.
Secure, copy off. 26 right hand, QNH 1022, Golf Golf Echo. Okay, so I'm good around and okay, let's go up some speed. And 2 stages of flaps. 1, 2, retrim. I've been turning way too early, so I'm going to go a little bit longer this time. Okay, and turn. Compton traffic, student Golf Bravo Delta, final to land.
And that's southwest 38.
So my last circuit actually was pretty good. Again, the landing not brilliant, still not flaring enough, but the rest of it was all good. All the checks were good, radio transmissions were good, so it did come together a little bit at the end there.
Okay, drag flap. Speed a bit slow. Speed is good. Ooh, bit of sink there.
And there was a lot of sink there. Okay, not a bad landing, still no stall horn, but it's certainly better than the last one. Now, I've got to say, I was feeling a little bit crestfallen at this point. I thought the whole lesson was scruffy. I wasn't thinking on what I was doing properly. I was making too many mistakes, and I was a little disappointed in myself. Looking back at the footage though, it's not actually as bad as I thought it was. I thought it went a lot worse than what the evidence is showing me. So that's a positive, but huge amounts to learn from this one.
And Bravo Delta, if you can park it on the corner of the apron, just the other side of Charlie Kilo. Thank you.
Roger, stop 5 Delta. Compton traffic, Golf 5 Delta, runway vacated.
Yeah, if you can stick it on the corner of the apron, just the other side of Charlie Kilo there.
So for the first time, this was the first lesson, I was relieved it was over. Not that I was in any way thinking of quitting or anything, but I just needed to regroup, get my thoughts together, analyse what went wrong, and get back at it. There's going to be highs and lows in anything that you're doing, and resilience is the name of the game. You keep at it, and if something isn't working, you do it again and again and again until it does work.
That was a bit crazy. Transponder standby. Two front ball. Landing light off, feeder here off, covering here off, friction free. Flaps up. Number is neutral. Pump brake is on. 530 seconds, mag check. 1, 2. The nav is off.
Wow, that was a bit scruffy. Oh man, the plane was getting tossed around all over the place. Landing not good. Whew. Still, did it! Hope you liked the video, and if you did, please hit the like button. Even better, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. See you next time.